Repainted the truck, all new steering, ball joints, idler arm, pitman arm. Hey folks, welcome back to another vlog. Ryan Wilson here, Predator Inc. Guy calls up and says, hey, I've got this Hummer. It's a 96 H1 Hummer. I'm in San Diego. I want to sell it. It doesn't run. It's all in pieces. I just don't have time for it anymore. So I ran down there, took a look at it, and I was like, okay, the bones on this thing are really good. There's no rust, there's no corrosion. Interior is in excellent shape. The outside of the truck, let's take a look at some of the footage when it came in, because this thing is hideous.
Customer said, hey, I got this truck. It's just been sitting in my backyard for years. You want to just come down and buy it? Total barn find.
I know the outside is kind of crazy. It's a purple people eater.
Huge transformation, repainted the truck, ton of accessories going onto it, all new steering, ball joints, idler arm, pitman arm, the Duramax engine in there. Value is only going up, and fortunately we were able to get our hands on this truck, and it was in relatively good condition except for a horrible paint job, which we corrected, and then also a shoddy conversion on it too. The original owner on the truck went through, ripped out the 6.5 turbo diesel engine, and someone put a 454 in there, which is just kind of a backwards way to go about it. The 454 output is less than the 6.5 turbo diesel. It's lethargic. And on top of that, fuel economy is just horrible out of it. So we're looking at it going, you know what, we're just gonna rip this engine out. We're gonna correct all the issues with it and get it up to our standards of a Duramax conversion. I was kind of skeptical about this color on here. I felt it kind of muted the truck down and lost some of the lines. When we started getting the accessories on here and the color cured, it really just pops on this truck. It looks absolutely incredible. I'm definitely proud of what the guys did on this truck. One of the focal points on it is the D-ring brush guard. Massive, heavy duty construction, full wraparound design. It wraps over the hood as well. Got the Viper winch bumper. Now this is one of my favorites. I keep on saying it. Here's the reason why. When we designed this system, we designed it for the D-ring brush guard with hinging points inside the winch bumper down here. So coming off of here, you've got a frame rail directly behind this forward mount. We have full box steel construction going back. All of this is boxed in, braced in on the inside as well, and then we have the shackle points here. Then they're integrated into the winch bumper, fully welded on the outside, the inside, and then another doubling plate that braces into the crossbar here that goes to the frame. Extremely strong system. We also integrate the rigid or the Baja design lights. On this one, we went with the rigid lights, great fog lights, as well as off-road rock lights. Replace the headlights with LED lights by Truck Lights. Great light combination on this truck. You have clear turn signals, clear running lights up here. They're all amber in the front, factory DOT legal, but just has a very clean look to it. Got away from that 1970s like trailer light look that the Hummer kind of has. Also have our direct flow hood scoop here, and then up to our light bar, the double stack on the top to get a tremendous amount of light output, but then also a single row down here to retain visibility. And then an offset snorkel right here. Everything's blacked out, texture black finish, texture black on the hood scoop, the winch bumper, just fits very, very well. And then over here, we have our FLIR system. FLIR stands for forward-looking infrared. And what that does is picks up heat signatures. This has a huge advantage over night vision. It picks up the body heat of anybody in front of you, but also deer and bushes. It gives you a lot of advantages that night vision doesn't have. Okay, so got the running lights on as well as the turn signal lights right here. These are actually rigid lights that we integrated into a full billet aluminum housing that picks up the factory bolt locations. It has a factory look to it, but best of all, these are floodlights. So let me turn these on for you. As you can see, rigid design, a dual purpose light. It has a tremendous amount of light output, definitely blinding. It's not gonna be as much as some of the other rigid lights that we have up here, but you can see all this floodlight that's coming out. It's the middle of the day right now. You can actually get the best of both worlds, in that you can retain your factory kind of look and feel and function, but you're also adding a tremendous amount of floodlight off to the side there. So really cool design. Let me go ahead and turn all the lights on so you can kind of see what we're doing here. The light bar light on, second light bar light on, lower grille light on, and the bumper rock lights. So we're using something called Switch Pros to actually access all the different light functions. Really clean setup, very simple to utilize, a lot of customization with it. I'll show you that in just a second. Now, finishing up the front of the truck, we've got our 20-inch Predator wheels. We manufacture these in-house. We've got the rock guards on here. These are our dual isolating quick disconnect CTIS lines on here. So the advantage with that is when you pop this guy off, it isolates the wheel on both sides. What that means is the front of the truck and the rear of the truck are separate. These are connected on the front, the rear is connected separately on the rear. When you pop this off here, it isolates that side from this side, so then you can take the wheel off. We're running the Gladiator X-Comp MT tires, great running tire. We're very happy with these guys, very aggressive mud terrain pattern. Now, moving to the side of the truck, we've got our full rocker panel protection. This goes underneath the truck. It's all steel construction, which gives a lot of strength to the side of the truck. So think of it as like an impact protection piece. It's protecting the bottom of the truck here as a rocker panel protection from like heavy rocks. If you're rock crawling, you can crawl across rocks. You can actually put the whole side of the truck onto a rock and just grade it right across there. It's not gonna do any damage to the vehicle other than a scratch in the powder coat, not a big deal. With this angular design here, you have a tremendous amount of strength on the side of the vehicle. If you were to get into a side impact, someone hits you, T-bones you, if I've got my wife and kids in here, I'm definitely running these. So good choice with the rocker panel protection, a lot more strength from side impact. This is our search and rescue roof rack. It has 3 mounts on here. The radius of the roof is the strongest point. It's not a rain gutter or rain clamp, which will eventually start to weaken and tear off of the roof. It's actually mounted on the radius of the roof, which is the strongest point. Secondarily, it has a structural part underneath the roof, which is this big cone-shaped mount right here, and right back here. So we're utilizing those locations to distribute the weight of the entire roof rack onto those points. On top of that, this is fully box steel construction. The mounts themselves are 4 inches wide, total of like 36 square inches of roof rack foot right here. So you're distributing the load across the entire radius and also across the whole structural mount of the roof itself, welded one-piece design. Then we also integrate a double mount J-hook here, 4 inches wide, distributing the load across here. 2 mounts up here. These are stainless steel, so they're not gonna rust out when you run the nuts down on them. So extremely strong design. We definitely take it above and beyond every chance we get. So let's go ahead and pop the hood and take a look at the engine. Oh, that's another advantage too. We have integrated stops down here in the winch bumper, so you don't have to worry about chipping the powder coat of the brush guard or the bumper. We also have our opening assist. So we are underneath the hood on this H1 Hummer. Got the LBZ Duramax diesel conversion along with the Allison 1000 6-speed transmission. The 6-speed transmission is a huge leap forward from the older 5-speed LLY transmission. Still Allison 1000, the difference is they added additional gear. At highway speeds is much improved over the 5-speed and drops your RPM by about 150, 200 RPM or so. So big difference right there having that 6-speed transmission. That is then mated to a selectable 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, all-wheel drive transfer case that we do in-house. Now an H1 Hummer traditionally did not have 2-wheel drive. It had 4-wheel drive, or I should say all-wheel drive. But the 2-wheel drive setting in this truck makes a big difference. A little bit better fuel economy, also better drivability off-road too. The biggest thing is we have an additional heavy-duty cooling package up here. So the cooling packages on this truck is an aluminum radiator right down here, aluminum intercooler, a larger AC condenser right up here, and then we have the additional coolers up here. Now, one thing we're missing from the cooling stack is a transmission cooler. That is remote mounted underneath the truck in the back of the truck. It has its own shroud on there, its own fan, temperature sensor, so when it hits a specified temperature, it opens up, starts cooling the transmission down to keep it in line with the engine. Now, that makes a difference on its own, but we went a step further with the heavy-duty cooling package. We have a full shroud that wraps up and around the cooling stack, so when the hood comes down, it seals up around the cooling stack, allowing for all the air that comes in through the front grille to go through the cooling stack, as opposed to the original design, which has a lot of blow-by back up here, as well as off to the side. We're just making it much more effective. So on the back of the truck here, this is our search and rescue 16,500 pound winch bumper. The whole winch bumper is obviously at an angle here. There's a number of reasons for that. First and foremost is it gives us a wider stance up here that you can sit on, step on, stand on it, access your roof rack, whatever you want to do, but it gives you a lot more flexibility with the surface here. It also narrows it down here, giving you a better departure angle. So let's say you're hung up on a rock, you're traversing over a big boulder, and as you come across that boulder, it could get caught up in the factory bumper, which hangs down fairly low. In addition to that, we have these plates mounted on here with flush mounted rigid lights, gives you reverse lights, floodlights in the rear. We actually have them tied into the dash, the S-Pod. You flip on a switch and you've got floodlights coming out the rear. In addition to that, we have this hole open here as well as on the other side. I left them open so you can see what it looks like, but that gives us flexibility, or a customer, to add on a tire carrier over here, some type of jerry can cargo system on one of them, or both. You do a jerry can on one side, a tire carrier on the other. Ultimately, you have a lot of flexibility with that. And then it mounts on the backside in here. There is a cap that goes in place and covers that up. And we have integrated shackles right here. A lot more work goes into this to get that extra room in here for the 16,500 pound Warren winch. The added benefit of having that extra room allows us to get that heavy duty winch in. It goes into an industrial grade winch, it's just massive. We have a new Haas fair lead right over here. Billet aluminum, again, manufactured in-house right here. We have the Predator logo on the top, but we have a little design feature integrated into this to kind of add some technology to it. Simple Haas fair lead, we actually integrated LED lights on the bottom side. It floods the light on top of the license plate. So you have the roof rack up on the top, you can put a ton of cargo on, but you also have this basket style rack back here. And we have hydraulic lifters on either side, and it opens up so you have better access to the inside. We also have a roll top bed cover on top of here, so it locks out a lot of debris, mud, snow, all that type of stuff, and also secure your load if you want to. So then it just drops back down and simply drop the pins in place. We're inside the truck, and as you can see, super clean look to it. All the original panels were stripped down, material was taken off. It's a lot of work. But before we rewrap it, we actually put on foam, a very thin layer of foam on here, and it has a very soft feel to it. Made a couple subtle changes. We took out the original vents, replaced them with round vents, a newer look and feel and kind of function of it. All the panels have been rewrapped in leather. There's no vinyl, there's no plastic in here. We did a suede headliner up here, so it has kind of a two-tone contrast. It's still black on black, but it has a different look, more of like a flat look versus like a satin look over here on the leather. We finalized the whole interior build out with custom wrapped seats. So these are seats that Roy wraps in-house. He does a lot of work to these seats, spends a lot of time remolding all of the seats so it has new foam. It's a lot firmer than 20-year-old foam, and cleans them all up. Really nice job. We also upgraded the truck with all new billet aluminum grab handles. The original ones are kind of a rubber material. It looks horrible. What we've done is we've recreated into a billet aluminum design, something extremely sturdy and robust, but it's also a little bit wider, so something you can grab a hold of. Then we wrapped it with leather, so the center section from here to here is all leather. We also did an A-pillar handle right here. And then finalized the dash area with a Momo steering wheel. Definitely one of my favorite steering wheels out there is the Momo. Inside the truck, I wanted to point out a couple things. We've got the Banks Dash IQ over here. It gives us EGTs, pyrometer, boost gauge, access to trouble codes. If there's any type of check engine light, you can get in there, you can clear it. And then coming over here, we have the Switch Pros unit. This is the control head right here, the different switches for your lights. and you can switch those out to virtually whatever you want to control. Coming up here, we have our HVAC head unit. We relocated it so we can get a doubled in head unit in this location. That also has an advantage because both the driver and the passenger can easily access the controls if you want to. The USB switches right here as well as on this side. Definitely an amazing transformation, taking this ugly barn find truck, the purple people eater, into like seriously the next level, both interior, exterior, hands down. This is an amazing build. It looks incredible going down the road. And definitely proud of what our team here did on this. And until next time, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Oh, hit the subscribe button down below and like button.